So let us try to develop the DC machine from the very basic principle, right? So first we will consider the motor. What we learnt in motor, there should be a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field. So let us say this is carrying a current I, and the magnetic field, it is produced by permanent magnets. Okay, so let us say this is the north pole and this is the south pole. Then the magnetic field lines will be from north to south, right? External to the magnetic field lines will be from north to south. Now the current carrying conductor, in which direction will it experience the force? The force expression is F is equal to IL cross B bar, right? So if you apply the cross product rule, you have to put your 4 fingers in the direction of I and then you have to curl them in the direction of the magnetic field vector. So you are going to get the force direction, that is into the plane. This is the force. Next, instead of a conductor, let us take a coil. So this is a current carrying coil. Okay, let us say it is carrying the same current I. Now if you name these as A, B, C and D, you can see that the conductors AB and CD, they are perpendicular to the magnetic field lines, whereas BC and DA, these are not perpendicular, they are parallel. Okay, so will they experience any force because of the magnetic field? No, only these two sides they will experience the force. Now what is the direction of this force? So anyways, we have found out in the previous case, when the current is going in the upward direction, then the force is going to be into the plane. So the AB conductor, force will be experienced into the plane, but for the CD conductor, the current is in the reverse direction. So the force will be in the direction that is out of the plane. Now here a torque is formed, right? One side is being pushed down, the other side is being pushed up. So equal magnitude of force is being experienced by the coil at two different locations in different directions. Okay, this is nothing but the torque. So when we used a coil, we could produce a torque. Now we got a torque. Now what is the next thing that we want to do? So you can see that this coil, after half a rotation, it will experience torque in the reverse direction, right? Because after half rotation, this is going to become A, B, C and D. So the current, it will now be flowing in this direction. So the force that is experienced by CD is now out of the plane and this will be into the plane. So you can see that the direction of both these torques is going to be opposite. So what we are going to do here is, we are going to introduce a commutator and a brush. So what is the function of this? So here at either ends there is going to be a conducting ring like this, okay, and these conducting rings, they are going to be connected via brushes. These brushes are going to slide on the rings and this will be connected to the supply. Okay, this is the DC supply. We are talking about the DC machines. Okay, so what is going to happen now? The current will flow like this. After half a rotation, this brush will slide on, this is a commutator segment. Now the brush is going to slide on this commutator for 1/2 rotation. After a half rotation, this commutator is going to come here, right? So then the current will now be reversed in the coil, so that the torque that will be produced, it will be in the same direction. Okay, so this is the brush and this is the commutator segment. The brush will slide on the commutator segment as it rotates. So here what did we achieve? We achieved a unidirectional torque in one direction. Okay. Next what we are going to do? We are going to introduce the rotor. Okay, so now the magnets we will represent like this. This is north pole and this is the south pole, and the rotor is going to be a cylindrical structure. So this you can consider it like the top view. Okay, and the coil, it is going to be mounted on the rotor. So if you're seeing the top view, then the coil you can see like this. You can see if this is the north pole and this is the south pole, then the cylindrical structure you can consider, imagine like this. Okay, now where is the coil? The coil is going to be wound about the rotor, right? So this is how the coil is going to be. Now what is the purpose of this rotor? First thing is that it is increasing the permeability of the material around which the coil is wound. Okay, without the rotor, the coil is simply in a free space, right? But if you are using a magnetic material, then the flux linkage of the coil is going to increase. So you can write this point here. Coil is housed on a rotor made of a permeable material, which will increase the flux linkage of coil as well as provides the platform to house the coil. Okay, otherwise where will the coil be placed, right? So it will be placed on the rotor. Now this rotor is connected to a shaft. It is coupled with a shaft. Rotor is coupled with a shaft. Next comes the number of coils. If with one coil we achieve say T amount of torque, then if you are keeping n number of coils, then n number of coils will experience, each of the coil will experience a torque. So on the total, the entire rotor, the entire setup will experience more amount of torque. Okay, so here we add number of coils increased to increase the torque experienced by rotor. Okay, so if this is the rotor, we are seeing the top view. There are going to be numerous coils that are present all around the rotor. Okay, so this we will understand a little more detail how the windings are placed later. Okay, so but there will be a number of windings that will be placed to increase the torque experienced by the rotor. Okay, and the rotor will be slotted. That means there will be grooves available so that the coils can be housed on it, right? So how will the slots look? It will look something like this. These are the grooves in which the coils will go. Okay, so this was about the rotor. Okay, and this is called as the armature, right? This is also called as armature. Now we will talk about the field, the north and south poles. Till now we have just thought of it like a permanent magnet, but what we are going to do, we want to control the magnetic field as well. In order to control the magnetic field, we will need an electromagnet. Okay, to control magnetic field, we make use of electromagnets. Okay, so what is an electromagnet? A coil is wound around the material, and when the current passes through the material, only then there will be magnetic field that will be produced. So if this is the rotor, not showing the coils that are present on it. Now the north and south poles we are showing like this, right? Now this will form part of the stator. Stator is the outer part of the machine. Now here there will be coils. Okay, so this is how the north and south poles can be produced. This is the stator and here we have the rotor. Okay, so now what will be the magnetic field lines? They will be produced like this. From north to south they will be present. Now again from here they will complete the flux path along the stator. Okay, so the stator is giving a path to the flux. And then finally one last change, which is the number of these magnets, right? So these are called as the poles. This is called as the field coil. So we increase the number of poles in order to get uniform torque. So when the coil is right under the poles, then it is going to experience more torque. See, the pole face, usually it is going to be like this, okay, and the other pole is going to be like this, right? So this is the north and south pole. There is going to be field that is going to come like this, okay, because of the shape in which these are present. You have a curved surface, okay. So why they are like that, we will discuss a little more when we are discussing about the constructional features. So the point is, when the coil is going to be right under the pole face, then it is going to experience more torque. But this is the area where there is no pole, right? And if the coil is present in that area, then it is not going to experience much torque. In order to avoid that, we place more number of poles, okay. So this is how we can obtain uniform torque. So if you draw the final structure, you have a rotor and the rotor is going to have slots in which the coils will be present, okay. So the coils, let us say one is starting from here and then it is going into this, okay, and from here again it is coming and going into this. In this way the windings will be placed in a specific manner which we will discuss more about, okay. But this is how the coils will be present on the slots of the rotor. And after that what we have? We have the field coils. These are the poles. We have more than 2 poles usually. So here we are drawing a 4-pole machine and here there is going to be field coils, okay. So this is the basic understanding of the DC machine. So we discussed the DC motor. That means the coil, in the coils current is passing and because of the magnetic field the coils will experience a force. Now what will happen in a DC generator? In DC generator there is going to be movement of the shaft. The shaft is going to drive this rotor to move and the coils will move along with it. So when a moving coil is present in a magnetic field, then a voltage is going to be induced and that is how voltage is produced in a DC generator. So the basic structure for a DC motor or generator, it is going to be same, and that is why we most often talk about it as a DC machine rather than a DC motor or generator, okay.